Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Marshall Toner, Managing Director and National Lead for Industrial for JLL Canada. Thanks for joining us today, Marshall.
You're welcome, Mario. Always look forward to our sessions.
All right, super. JLL came out recently with its Q4 2021 Industrial Real Estate Market Report. We're going to talk about some of the aspects of it. Let's talk vacancy. 2.4% vacancy in the city of Calgary and surrounding areas. How low has that gone compared to previous years?
I don't know, man. I think 2008 was probably the lowest I can remember, and it was right around this range. Typically, it's in that plus or minus 5%. You know, at the middle of 2020, it was as high as 9.5%. So we've seen quite a bit of or 9%, roughly speaking. So we've seen quite a drop over the last 2 years. And in fact, even from the last quarter, it dropped 110 basis points. So yeah, our industrial real estate market is buoyant, it's active, and it's really a reflection of what's happening across Canada and the US. I mean, Vancouver, our vacancy is less than 1%. Toronto, it's less than 1%. Montreal, it's right around 1.5%, 2%. So we are just the same as every other major market in North America, where industrial is kind of the flavor of the day.
All right, super. Absorption, the change in occupied space plus a positive 7.7 million square feet in 2021. Well above the 5-year historic average. It just goes to show again the demand for space is just huge right now.
Well, it is, and I mean our 5-year average absorption was, I don't know, plus or minus 2 million, maybe 2.5 million. Let's call it 2 million square feet. So at 7.75 million square feet, that's quite a bit over the average. And we had in Q4 1.7 million square feet of absorption. I think we had 5 leases that were signed that were over 100,000 square feet, not us specifically, but in the market. And there's 6.35 million square feet of space under construction, which is great. I mean, the worst thing that happens in the market is your vacancy shrinks and there's nothing coming down the pipeline, right? So we're very fortunate to have quite a bit of space coming down the pipeline, and I still don't think it's going to see a big spike in vacancy. I think it's going to hold somewhere in that 2.5 to 4 range, even with that new product coming available.
So with that new product, the 6.3 million plus square feet, how much of that is expected to come onto the market this year, roughly?
Most of it is coming onto the market. There's some big box construction going out on there. I mean, there's a couple developers, it's funny how our market's changed over time. Mario, when I got in the business, there was 75 million square feet of industrial space in Calgary in the early to mid 90s. We have 157 million now. Wow. That's quite a drastic change. And 100,000 square foot lease deal used to be a really big lease. And now, we have developers that are building big box distribution buildings on spec in that 400, 500, 600,000 square foot range. We never used to see that kind of activity. And so when you have a number of those kind of buildings and then, smaller versions in the 250s and the 3s, it doesn't take long to get that construction number up there.
Okay, super. What about the land issue here in Calgary? Do we have sufficient land to accommodate growth in this market?
Well, land's funny. I would say for the last 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, it's kind of been in neutral. It hasn't really been the flavor of the day. There really hasn't been a need for it. When you have high vacancy, people aren't building on spec typically. Yeah. And but the Balzac area has been extremely active. I think a lot of Calgary was kind of a no-fly zone from Eastern money for the last couple of years, and that all changed in the middle of 2021. And there's a lot of developers, pension fund money looking to do things out in the Balzac area right now. There's 200 acres that is about to close or has closed here in the next probably 15 to 30 days. There's another 200 acres that I know, not in one block, but in separate pieces that are under contract up in the area right now. I know the city of Calgary and Point Trotter has almost 40 acres under contract right now. So it's a very, things have changed in the land market from being kind of secondary to being primary focus right now.
Okay, super. And last thing, Marshall, as we look into the rest of this year, are we expecting more of the same?
Yeah, I think the market's going to be tight until a lot of this product comes on stream, which is not slated till, you know, the back half of 2022. Our vacancy is going to stay tight. And I think we're going to see a little relief in 2023, 2024. But it's, as far as activity and, you know, industrial being the flavor of the day, I don't see anything changing. It's business as usual.
All right, super. Thanks, Marshall, for joining us again.
Thanks, Mario. Take care.
All right, super. Marshall Toner, Managing Director and National Lead for Industrial with JLL Canada. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.